Welcome back to another episode of Coast to Coast Sports. I'm your host, as always, Harrison VANTILBURG. To the left of me, we got our boy John Witt. Behind the scenes, looking cute as ever, absolutely smashing food. Ryan Smith. And then to the right of us, we have a guest. We have a guest today. John, we have a guest today.
We have a guest today.
We have a guest today. Ryan, we have a guest today.
We have a guest.
Let's all give a warm applause to PAYNE VANTILBURG, my brother. All right,
John, you and I are outnumbered by VANTILBURG.
no, we're even matched. You guys were
matched.
going zone. Now it's man to man.
It is.
And I'm gonna be honest. I'm a matchup nightmare. I'm a fucking unit in the post. So but tight end too. I got hands. I'll block. I'll hit him with one of these. What's that? What's that called? The fucking O lineman TikTok, like the TikTok you see on the O lineman. I'm one of those guys. So I'm a matchup nightmare on the block. But Payne, welcome to the pod. First time goer. Set. I probably invited him 6 or 7 times. First time goer. So we're glad to have you. You're one of our. Is this our third guest?
Shane.
Gus.
Yeah, he's third.
Third. So welcome.
I've been nervous. I didn't want to jump the gun. I wanted to see how other people did first.
I respect that. So welcome to the pod. John, you got anything to say to people before we get started?
No.
No, nothing to say to people. Ryan, you got anything to say to people before we get started?
I know we said last week, but football's back.
Football is quite literally all back.
I think we get a month of saying that, and then it's
over.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even gonna say a week. Like next week, it's like all right, it's back. Because we could have said it last week because NFL wasn't back.
We did say it last week.
But I'm saying we're allowed to because NFL wasn't back. Now NFL's back.
So let's say
so football's back.
NFL's back.
Sunbelt's back.
Sunbelt.
We'll get back into Sunbelt. But Payne, you have our quote of the week. What would you got to give us the quote of the week?
I didn't get prepared.
You didn't get prepared. I'll do the quote of the week then. Fine. Payne, do you have anything to say to people while I look up a goddamn quote?
It's good to be here. As always.
As always.
I was gonna think of a quote, but nothing came to mind.
No, you don't. You don't have to think of a quote. You know why? Because I have a list of them.
So Notre Dame sucks.
So Notre Dame does suck.
I'll get you a quote. Give me 1 second.
I think Marshall's just good.
Well, the Sun Belt is just the best conference in football. Really shows how good Ohio State is. I mean, absolutely fucked Arkansas State when all these teams are losing to these teams.
Right, 100%.
Shout out Ohio State.
Here, I'll give you a quote. I'll give you the quote. I got the quote. I believe it happened over Memorial Day weekend in Nashville, Tennessee.
What year?
2022.
Okay. Year of our Lord.
Yes. 2022. And it was said by a very intelligent man. And the quote goes, Jimmy Butler is him. Harrison VANTILBURG. And it is his birthday today. So happy birthday to Jimmy motherfucking Buckets.
Come on the pod.
Come on the pod, please. I will be so stoked. I believe you're in Columbia still. I follow him on Instagram. No big deal. Michelob Ultra representative.
Missouri or South Carolina?
Ooh, good question.
What do you mean?
You said he's in Columbia.
Like Columbia.
Oh.
Not like the states.
Like the country?
Like the country. I believe. That's a soft Columbia.
He doesn't know.
But, so happy birthday, Jimmy Butler. We all wish you the best, especially me and Ryan. And Garen.
Mm-hmm.
Big Heat fans. So, Garen, come on the pod.
I will not be wishing him a happy birthday.
You got Donovan Mitchell. Relax. You'll be okay. You'll be fine. But before we get started, let me just outline the show for you. As always, we're going to talk about college football. That just happened this past weekend. We got our second week of action-packed football. No real big games. Only about really one big game that was like causing people to talk about, some stirring conversations. And then we're going to talk about some NFL, week 1 reactions, letdowns, surprises, baseball rule changes. And then we're going to do our pick'ems and then the 2-minute drill to wrap it all up. John, are you ready for the show?
Absolutely.
Payne, are you strapped in?
I'm strapped in.
All right.
Ready to roll.
So,
Strapped
Ryan,
in,
if you would be so kind to put up the poll, as you know, we are a media outlet, so that means we get to make our own media poll. This is week 3?
This is week 3 of the poll.
Week 3 of the Coast to Coast poll. Not much change in the top 5. I think top 6, actually. Was A&M 6?
We had A&M 6, but
What?
I disagreed with that.
Can you do me a favor and snap your fingers like this?
Did it disappear? God, you're so
God,
fucking
that's
cool.
so fucking
You're
bad.
so based. Spotify people don't know that though.
They don't know.
They don't know. But Spotify people, as always, check us out on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, do all the things. Tell your grandma. I hear your grandma's huge in college football. My grandma is.
Massive.
My grandma.
Massive.
Or actually, you know what? Our grandma is.
Yeah.
Huge college. So
I
let
was
your
gonna
grandma
say,
know.
you guys probably have the same grandma.
We do.
too.
We do. And we only have one. The other one passed away this last year. Way to bring it up, John.
R.I.P.
So other than that, yeah, I know. Hey, yo. This guy. So share Meemaw. So share with your friends, let them know, and then obviously the YouTubers
Share
check
with your
out
grandma.
Spotify.
Yeah, share
tell
with
your
your
friends.
grandma,
Be a friend,
please.
tell a friend. Right? Be a friend, tell a friend. Ryan, so the poll is up. We have a little bit of changes at the top 6. A&M dropped because they lost because they're dog shit.
Correct.
But here's our new poll. So for the people that are listening, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all the same as we did last week. Georgia, actually no, I think Alabama was number 1 last week.
Well, there was 2 flips. So Alabama was 1 unjustly, and then Michigan was 5.
And then
So Clemson, Georgia, Alabama flip, Michigan, Clemson flip, Ohio State stays the same at 3.
cool. So 1 Georgia, 2 Alabama, 3 Ohio State, 4 Michigan, and 5 Clemson Tigers. Moving from 6 to 10, you go Oklahoma Boomer Sooner, USC Trojans, Oklahoma State, Arkansas Razorbacks, number 10 Kentucky Wildcats, taking a massive jump for us. Number 11 being the Miami Hurricanes, number 12 being the BYU Cougars, 13 Michigan State, 14 Tennessee Volunteers, 15 the Utah Utes, 16 through 20 is looking Baylor Bears, Sikkim, NC State Wolfpack, 18 the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest, 19 the Nittany Lions of Penn State, 20 being the Gator Nation of Florida, and then 21 to 25 rounding out the top 25 of the Coast to Coast poll is Texas Longhorns, Hook 'em, 22 Ole Miss Rebels, 23 the Pitt Panthers, 24 North Carolina Tar Heels, and number 25 I believe making 24 and 25 I believe are making their Coast to Coast, and Texas making their Coast to Coast debut.
And I believe Penn State as well.
Penn State as well? Okay, I couldn't remember if they made it last week. So we got 4 new people shaking up the top 25, bottom half of it, with Kansas State and North Carolina Tar Heels being 24 and 25, North Carolina and the Kansas State Wildcats being 25. So we see a little bit of movement, especially in the innards, in the thick of it, John, in just the fucking guts, the absolute just guts of things. We see some changes. So that's our poll. We'll post it on Twitter. We'll get your reactions. We'll see what you like, what you don't like. But I'm going to start with Payne, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Should we go with the guests first, or we should say fuck them?
No, I say go with Payne.
Go with the guests first. So
Okay.
You need to see the poll here. I'll
here's the
flash it
poll.
over.
Here's the poll.
Tennessee Vols going to be a top 10 team within the next 3 weeks.
Next 3 weeks. I don't hate that. But let me get your biggest recap, college football recap of the week. What was one of the biggest shocks of the week?
Shocks?
Biggest shock, and we'll do letdown. So think about,
Shock is going to be Marshall.
shock.
Marshall going into South Bend and just imposing their will.
And sold out stadium.
I've heard South Bend's not a very hard place to play.
No, I've heard it too.
I mean, ask the Cincinnati Bearcats.
I know somebody that's dominated there.
I mean, we haven't lost there since the 30s, so.
Yeah, wasn't the last time I saw stats? I'm like the last time Ohio State lost to Notre, not even in South Bend. I think it was just lost to
In
Notre
general,
Dame.
yeah. I mean,
Was
we've
like
only played them like
was like
second time.
polio was still a thing.
Yeah, it was during the Great Depression, actually.
So sad day for Notre Dame.
We played a home and home in the 30s, and it was like the year the AP poll came out, like 1936 was the last year we lost to them.
Notre Dame's down bad.
Notre Dame
Down
is
bad.
down bad indeed. I'm gonna go with myself. You want to just move right to left?
We can move
We
right
can
to
look-
left.
Just
we can
like
do a
the
little-
book.
We can do right to left a little bit here. That's left to right, but I
That's
like where you're at. My biggest shock, I think, will be. I think my biggest shock is the fact that, and it is Sun Belt related. So Marshall is in the Sun Belt, Georgia's Southern Sun Belt, and
App State.
App State Sun Belt. Is that Sun Belt Conference has more AP top 25 wins than any other conference does, and it's 2. What you don't, it's like one of that saying where, if I had a nickel for every time something like that happened, I'd have 2 nickels. And you're like, you'd think that's not a lot of money, but it's odd that it's happened more than once.
Right.
The fact that the Sun Belt has 2 AP top 25 wins is mind-boggling blowing. And I believe John refers to the Sun Belt as the Fun Belt.
I do.
And I think the Fun Belt has the most fun. So in the sun,
In the
Sun Belt,
so-
Fun Belt, see how that all ties together. So I think the biggest shock for me is the fact that the Sun Belt has clearly outperformed all Power Fives.
Look, I mean, every week every year this happens. There's that one week everybody says, "Oh, there's no good games. Don't even bother watching." That's when we get the upsets. So it's always worth watching. That's why college football
Is
is the
ECU Fun Belt?
best. No, they're American.
Because if ECU would be NC State, that'd have been 3. Damn.
Yeah, but they're not. They're American.
they're American, yeah.
If App State would have beat North Carolina, I don't think North Carolina.
North Carolina, I don't believe, was ranked.
No.
But that still would have been dope.
Yep.
But, John, big shock for the weekend.
Big shock of the weekend. I mean, someone has to mention this. Alabama looks fucking sloppy. Most penalties ever under a Nick Saban team last week. Honestly, could have gotten more. I mean, this was Alabama shows some cracks in the wall this week, and if it weren't for some uncertainties with other teams in this bowl, I would have dropped them even further. I just couldn't. But I'm not high on the Crimson Tide as of right now. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, to me personally, I have always said, and I will still always say, let's not overreact. I believe you started, hey, we're not going to overreact this week. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that next week. You said that in week 1.
In week 1.
And I'm still a firm believer that there's nothing to overreact here, because if Texas wins out, let's just say they do, they win out, they win the Big 12, they're definitely making the college football playoffs, right? Like they would have to. They'd be close.
I mean, it also just depends. Like, does USC also go undefeated?
Right. I mean, there's
There's
ton of
other
variables.
factors,
Ton of
but
variables.
yeah.
But I mean, they would be at least top 6. Would you say that that's fair?
Yes, easily. Yeah.
So I mean, Texas could be the shit, or Texas could be the Texas of years past and not be back, as some would say.
Look, I'm a,
Texas also without a quarterback.
yeah, they honestly, and that's the other thing. Like, Alabama really wasn't even the better team that day. I thought Texas was the better team, and I have money on them winning the Big 12. So I'm fiscally invested in the Texas Longhorns.
Oh, so is that why you're big on Longhorns this year?
Big on Longhorns.
So you're big for greed reasons. How
Yes.
dare you? Not true to the goddamn integrity of this podcast. And that betting is not even legal in this damn state, John.
I was in West Virginia.
Fair enough. I thought you were gonna say Indiana. Was
Uh,
this during the Ohio State game in March Madness?
that was in Pittsburgh, so I was in Pennsylvania.
Ah, okay. I'm with you now. I'm
Um,
sorry.
He's
South
well
Dakota.
traveled.
Yeah.
He's well traveled. He's
Yeah,
well
you know,
traveled. But yeah, I think that's a great point. I think Alabama is definitely shown, but I think all the teams have not looked. I'd say the top 3 teams, 2 of the top 3 teams, I wouldn't say have looked real crisp. Michigan, for our poll, obviously, Michigan hasn't really necessarily been tested, and Georgia looked really good against Oregon. But outside of that, I mean, who knows how good Oregon is at this point? They could be really good. They could win a bunch of games and be back in the top 25, or they could not.
I mean, AP had him in the top
AP
25.
put them at 21 or 24 or something like that.
They're at 25 until the
Yeah.
BYU Cougs kick their ass.
Kick their ass. So we'll see how that plays out. But Ohio State hasn't looked super clean on offense consistently. They've started to find it there in the second half of Arkansas State and the second half of Notre Dame. So maybe they're just one of those second half teams. That's a very big thing. Alabama hasn't looked super clean. As a whole, I would say Ohio State's defense definitely looked really good second half by Notre Dame, but that might not mean anything now because Notre Dame obviously shit the bed against Marshall too. So, there's a lot of stuff to still happen, and there's a ton of football left, and I'm really interested to see how this week plays out. PAYNE, big letdown. What do you got for me of the weekend?
Biggest letdown is gonna be the App State game.
Big letdown for who?
App State.
No, App State. Well, App State last weekend
Oh,
Yeah, that was-
against North Carolina.
Yep.
But App State going in. What is it? The 12th man. The 12th man.
Yeah.
College Station.
College
College
Station. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
What is
just,
it? Who or whatever the hell they do at those
Gig 'em. No,
you know
Gig 'em.
what I'm talking about, the stupid ass pep rallies that they do the night before or some shit
Yeah,
where
the
they go
biggest
like,
hold in America.
yeah, it's fucking insane. But
he
those
was
guys
talking
are
a lot of smack at the pep rally,
They do that every week.
and then he got his
every week.
every week they do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's just embarrassing.
that's why they're
It's
called
not
the 12
high-
man.
It's not a high school.
It's
game.
really
That's
not.
just embarrassing. I didn't know that.
I'm gonna go with my biggest letdown being the fact that Nebraska fired Scott Frost.
Mm.
You have to.
Um,
You have to go with that.
I understand that, but I'm just gonna say that's my biggest letdown. I was big on the Huskers this year, still am. I'm not gonna abandon ship just because we're 1 and 2.
You're 1 and 2.
I think that
We're
gives
1
a
and
lot.
2.
Gives a lot of reason to abandon ship.
0 and 2 against the FBS.
No, no,
Yes.
no.
Northwestern.
It's not
Georgia
Oh,
Southern.
FBS. I thought you
FBS.
meant FCS. I was like, no, we only played.
FCS is 1-0.
We didn't play an FCS team. Yeah, we're 1-2. Northwestern, not good for our conference, but at the end of the day, it's all conference standings matter. If we went out in our conference, we're making the Big Ten
And
championship.
it was on foreign
That's
soil.
true.
Doesn't count.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so who really?
And the fans were egregious there. I heard they gave out free beer.
They were
I did hear
massive.
that. Wi-Fi went down, so they gave out free beer.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was sad to see him go. I think it's a good change, but I'm just more surprised. Biggest letdown is that you let him get at least two more games in, so we can save a fuck ton of money. That's the
I was
biggest-
going to say, can I bring that point up? Maybe the biggest letdown is not Scott Frost. It's going to be
Financials.
It's going to be Nebraska's financial situation.
And the biggest reason I'm saying it's a letdown is because they're gonna get Scott Frost to go work for fucking Alabama, be a special something assistant, and then he's gonna be on Alabama now. So
I mean,
he's gonna give the Rolodex of Nebraska's offense, which is gonna be really crippling to our program.
Yeah.
I've said it once. I've said it again. Fired football coach is the best job in America.
100%. Best gig ever.
Best gig.
But John, biggest letdown.
I'm gonna have to go down south to Gainesville. Florida Gators look bad this week.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they had a good opportunity to beat a decent Kentucky team. Led early and then came out flat in the second half. Anthony Richardson, also a big letdown. Everybody was hyped on him for Heisman odds after the Utah game. Looked terrible. Had a pick six. Just didn't look good against Kentucky. Shout out Kentucky. Good win, but
You jumped big in our poll.
Florida looked bad.
Yeah, I 1000% agree on all those things. But speaking of Heisman, and I'm glad that you segued. Did you do that on purpose?
No,
God, John, so you're just telling me you're just fucking built like that.
I'm just built like that.
God damn it. This is why you're an absolute unit. You're so sexy, John. I know that might somebody clip that, please. Heisman odds have been kind of released after week two. We see CJ Stroud still leading the pack, which kind of surprises me. Then you followed by Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Stetson Bennett, and then JJ McCarthy are your top five. Outside of that, my biggest surprise, I'll go last in the biggest surprise. John, what's your biggest surprise out of these top five people for the Heisman odds after week two?
I mean, I don't think it's really. There's no surprises. There's some changes I'd make, but no real surprises. I think I would put Caleb Williams one. I think he's looked the best out of the three quarterbacks there. CJ Stroud is statistically better than Bryce Young right now, but Caleb Williams is better than both of them so far through 2 weeks. So I would put him one. Everything else is just kind of a wash. It's kind of early.
Payne?
Well, I think shouldn't even be in the conversation is JJ. I mean, he's played like one total game, comparatively speaking. I think to throw him in there just because he won the starting job is a bit ridiculous. Second would probably be, I don't think CJ Stroud, I think he is that guy. I think he's got a really good arm, but I agree. Caleb Williams, I think it's just better. I do. Don't like his personality, but that's not what it's on.
Yeah,
It's on
no.
his abilities.
I'm going to actually push back against yours. To me, if you look at 6 and below, Hendon Hooker,
Hendon Hooker.
DJ Ugalele, I think I pronounced that terribly. KJ Jefferson, Trayvon Henderson, and Anthony Richards is the people below JJ. I don't think JJ is necessarily light years better than all of those guys, but Trayvon Henderson splitting time with somebody at running back and isn't even the number one. Necessarily, he might not even be Ohio State's best running back. In my opinion, I think it's
Maya Williams.
is that number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I think he's the best one. Anthony Richards played one good game and obviously crapped the bed this past weekend, and he's number 10. The thing that I'm really surprised about is Will Anderson not being in it. I figured he at least be top 10. He led all of FBS last year in tackles. I know he's an inside guy, so he's going to have a lot of those in general, but he's an absolute freak of nature. He's going to be anchoring that Alabama defense, whether they're worth a damn or not. I mean, they haven't let anybody. They've scored a total of 19 points in 2 games, and Utah State won 12 games last year, 11 games. So Utah State was no scrub on the team.
Did you see them play this week? They lost 35-7 against an FCS opponent.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I hear
Utah State.
Against who though?
Weber State.
I've heard the Webs are good.
Go Webs, yeah, Spiderweb.
I mean, hey.
So, I'm going to push back on your J.J. McCarthy thing a little bit just because I can't necessarily name 6 people that are light years better than him. The only thing that I was just more surprised is Will Anderson not cracking the top 10. I feel like he's definitely one of the 10 best players in college football.
He was top 10, I believe, after week 1. he didn't have his best game against Texas, and he ended up falling because to be a defensive Heisman, you really need those moments.
Yeah.
So that hurts him a lot. Also, as I'm thinking about it, Caleb Williams, honestly, Heisman moments kind of matter. I know they kind of matter a little more than stats, and I don't know how many, with Notre Dame looking how Notre Dame now looks, not sure how many Heisman moments he'll really have. CJ Stroud, JJ McCarthy will have Heisman moments against each other, Michigan State, Penn State. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see, but
Yeah, I mean, I think the Big Ten will definitely be one of the better conferences, at least ranking-wise, this year than some of these other conferences. But that's just something I wanted to bring up. I thought that was an interesting kind of tidbit to get us going there. But that kind of wraps up the college football talk. Do you have anything to leave the people with college football? Other than football's back.
I mean, it's the best sport in the world.
Okay, I'll push back against that, but I'll let it stand for now. Payne, you got anything to wrap up with college football talk?
Yeah, Vols gonna be a
Vols.
top 5 team this year.
No, that's Vanderbilt.
Ball for life.
Vanderbilt let me down. That's one of my big things. Vanderbilt fucking let me down. Sad day.
I think Tennessee's legit this year.
Rocky Top.
Rocky Top.
Rocky Top.
You'll always be.
Ryan, you got anything for college football before we move on?
Oh, sweet home.
I think it was surprising how bad some of the Big Ten teams look.
I'm not surprised. We suck.
I don't know. I mean, was it Nebraska, Wisconsin,
Iowa.
There's a trend there though. They're all in the west.
Iowa?
Yeah.
Minnesota underrated. I'm pissed they're not on the poll.
Did you have them in your bowl?
Yes.
Who else? Well, there's another team lost. Indiana only won by 13 against Idaho.
No, Idaho.
Oh yeah, you know.
Northwestern lost to
See
Duke.
what I did there? They did lose, dude.
Yeah.
Illinois with a
they
big win over
actually
Virginia.
got
Shout out.
smacked by Duke, low key.
Shout out the Fighting Illini. They got a big win over Virginia this week.
Lovey Smith's not there.
That was-
though, is
that was-
he?
no.
No, Brett Beeline.
It's Brett
Houston.
Bielema, yeah.
Bielema, not Beeline. Beeline basketball.
He's an executive for the Detroit Pistons. Yeah. So
Shout out the Illini.
before we move on to the next segment, which is NFL highlights and just talking points, let's get to our first sponsor.
Oh,
Shout out the first sponsor of the podcast, Pete Abilities. Pete Abilities is in fact him or them.
yeah.
Pete Abilities is it
Peter Bill him.
Pete Ability him or Pete Ability hers? Well, it's Pete Ability him because I know the other.
Yeah,
So it's a dude. So Pete Abilities is the truth. They are the best street food you can get. I've worked for them, so obviously I'm a little biased. I know they clean their trucks. I've done it. I know they're high quality food. They get fresh food every single day. I've been there. I've prepared it. Pete Abilities is the truth. So make sure you check them out. Go to their website. Check out Pete Abilities. See where the food trucks are located at for the day. Or if you want more of that classic sit-down brick and mortar feel, they have a hard location in the Crooked Cane facilities in Old Hilliard, Ohio. So make sure you check them out. My personal go-to is the chicken teriyaki on a pita with the Bella sauce and a little bit of banana peppers. Get that extra kick, get that little zazz on it with the Bella sauce. Homemade, in-house, secret recipe to die for. I mean, John, I know. What's one of your favorite meals?
I mean, I'm a big buffalo chicken guy. I love their buffalo chicken wrap. Always leaves me smiling and satisfied.
Satisfied sexually or just
Both.
both? Awesome. I appreciate it. Penn, you got a big Pete Ability? I know you're a big Pete Abilities guy.
Oh, huge Pete Abilities. Classic Euro, light feta, no tomato.
No tomato? We going Bella sauce?
Bella sauce all the way.
Bella sauce
Have
all
to.
the way.
You have to.
So make sure you check them out. Like I said, check out their website. They'll tell you where the food trucks are at for the day. Or if you want that brick and mortar sit down, get yourself a beer with your pita. Check out Crooked Can in Old Hilliard, Ohio. And let them know that the Coast to Coast family sent you. We love them. They love us. And thank you so much for sponsoring the pod. Let's get to the next segment, which is NFL Week 1 officially over. We have started Roger Goodell's storyline of writing. It's here. It's happening. And it's happening before us, actually.
Script was good this week.
The script was solid. There was a few letdowns, in my opinion. And I'll get to that.
We know
So
it.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Biggest letdown.
Go on.
I'm going to go ahead and say kickers.
Oh.
Kickers for me were the biggest letdown, other than one. And I'm sure one of you will probably mention it. If not,
We know.
always,
This is why you draft.
This is why you draft.
I'll think about it. Rodrigo Blankenship missing a game-winning kicking point for the Houston and Colts game. Rodrigo Blankenship missed a game-winning kick for the Colts. Got cut immediately.
Did he really?
Yeah, he got cut the next day.
He's
Which
such
I
a
thought-
lovable guy.
I love
He
Rodrigo.
plays with Lego.
He's
He does?
big in
That's
Legos. He's missed a few important kicks last year, but I don't blame the 2 kick out of bounds on him necessarily on kickoffs because our actual kickoff guy tore his ACL, Achilles. So, he kind of got thrown into that. He should still be able to good enough to kick it out of bounds. But the Steelers Cincinnati game, dumpster fire of a kicking performance. And I know I'm missing some other kick. I think the Giants and
Giants Titans.
Titans. I think Titans kicker missed a kick as well.
Yep.
Very winnable kick too, or very makeable kick that could have won the game. So
Bears kicker missed 2 extra points.
I'm gonna be not so inclined to count that one.
That
Because there was a monsoon of rain.
The second one was bad. The second one was forgivable. I thought the first one was kind of bad.
Either way.
How about the penalty though?
Yeah, you can't
Oh,
use
yeah,
the
you
goddamn
can't wipe
foul.
it.
That's
That
a
was-
stupid ass foul penalty. And then my second biggest letdown, speaking of dumb penalties, is the fact that in overtime, the person that fumbles the ball is the only one that can pick it up and then advance the ball. The fact that you can't, as a running back, dive on the ball, get up and run for a touchdown, it makes no sense for me. I think that's a dumbass rule, and I don't see the point of it. John, biggest letdown.
NFL has a lot of weird rule changes after the 2-minute warning that are just stupid. Like, why do they change now? I mean, I thought a lot of teams looked really good. I thought the Chiefs really stepped up. I feel like some people were kind of fading the Chiefs after Tyreek Hill left, and I thought the Chiefs really proved that they're still one of the teams.
I saw an unpopular opinion that said the Chiefs will be better without Tyreek.
I don't
That guy might have been right.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. Week 1, but
Week
we'll
1.
see.
I mean, they did this in week 1 last year, but the Packers looked pretty bad against the Vikings last week.
Yeah, looked terrible.
I mean, maybe it's that week 1, Aaron Rodgers just got to get used to his new receivers. But it was not pretty in Minneapolis for the Packers.
Definitely not. Payne, biggest letdown.
Letdown. Special teams as a whole.
Yeah,
I want to be honest, but it also proves why special teams are so important.
Still,
Just go back to what I go to is the backup snapper
for the Bengals.
mm-hmm. That was bad.
They didn't have a guy to snap the ball, and they lost the game because of it.
Or look at the Chiefs when the fucking kicker got injured in the first kickoff of the game. Then you have that one
safety.
Yeah, safety, athletic, kicks it out of the end zone, and he also makes a PAT.
Booting it out of the end zone.
Shout out that guy as well. That was a really fun.
That's what I was just looking up.
My moment.
But that's not a letdown.
No, I'm just saying it's kind of cool that special teams does matter when you have somebody that can step up and help you out. It's
They
important.
say offense and defense win championships.
It's special teams.
Special teams.
Yeah, ask Tom Brady.
Adam Vinatieri.
So I'm gonna go
Peyton Manning.
biggest takeaway, not biggest letdown, biggest takeaway. I know week 1 we're not gonna jump the gun, but I'm asking you to jump the gun here, John. I'm asking you for your wildest, just this is it. I'm jumping the goddamn shark. It's week 1. Biggest takeaway. Go. Or you want me to go first? I'll go first.
You go first.
All right. I'm gonna say Jacoby Brissett didn't look great. Not taking that away from him, but the Browns will be above. I'm saying 11 games, right? He's suspended. 11 games.
Yes.
Assuming he comes back week 12. Let's just assume that. Browns 8-3.
Fact.
Ooh.
8-3. That's my biggest
Fact.
takeaway. The Browns clearly show that they don't need an absolute gunslinger at quarterback. They are very capable of winning with the run game and everything else that is evolved with that. I think the Browns can do it, and they showed it. I think they showed it clearly. And Jacoby's going to get more suited to that team, that offense, and what the receivers are wanting to do, what they like to do, because he wasn't getting first-team reps. Now he's going to be.
Which showed why he targeted Peoples-Jones versus Cooper.
Mm-hmm. So that's my biggest takeaway, and that's my biggest hot take / jump the shark moment.
Okay, you want to jump the shark moment?
I want to jump the shark.
The defending Super Bowl champs will not make the playoffs this year. I thought the Rams looked pretty bad.
Stop it right now. What?
Mm-hmm.
I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look,
There's
I want a big takeaway. I want something surprising. You gave it to me. Rams, do you have any meat to that statement, or do you just think because off the week 1 performance?
Look, I already don't believe my statement, but I mean, the Bills absolutely embarrassed them last week.
100%.
On Thursday Night Football. I know it was the banner-raising game, but I mean, I thought they looked pretty bad without a second good receiver. I'll say here's a more reasonable take: the Rams don't win the West. How about that?
Is that their conference?
NFC West.
Who
yeah.
wins the NFC West?
Yeah.
Cardinals?
I'll say Oh, shit. That's a pretty bad division.
I'll say it's either that or, I mean, the Seahawks are there, right?
Yeah, 49ers.
Hey, Geno's the truth, bro.
Geno's the truth.
Geno Smith is no joke.
Yeah, he's
Seahawks are back.
gambling tidbit. He's won 9. He's covered 9
9
straight
straight
games,
games, yeah.
dating back to 2014.
Hard to bet against him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, statistically speaking, yes.
9-0 in his last 9.
Payne, biggest takeaway / jump the shark, hot moment, hot take. Give it to me.
Top.
Biggest takeaway, week 1 that you think is just going to be the truth of the rest of the season.
Pittsburgh's winning
The end
division.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. AFC North.
Yep.
That would be the North.
I'm saying
I
it for
love the
goddamn
Browns.
viewers. I'm saying it for the goddamn viewers. You guys are.
I know. I love the Browns. I think Browns are getting a wild card spot, but Pittsburgh's winning the division. I think this is Mitch Trubisky's comeback season. They have a decent defense. Hopefully, TJ Watt's not out.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is really good. They have an okay wide receiver core. And, now not Najee Harris. Injuries aside, Pittsburgh's it.
You know, Payne,
They're winning. They're winning the division.
I don't hate that pick for a few reasons. One, I said that Mitchell Trubisky is going to be really good for the Steelers a couple months ago.
And Freiermuth is going to be his go-to.
And I think that it's going to true because Mike Tomlin just simply does not lose. You know, I love Mike Tomlin.
I don't.
He's never had a losing season as a head coach, and he's had significantly worse teams than this team. I mean, when you have Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph fighting for the number 1 starting spot, I think that's a hard time as a franchise, and they still won 8 games. 8-1
Yeah.
is what they were. So I don't hate that taken on. I think that is very, very plausible, especially because all you got to do is win the game. Doesn't matter if you win by 1 point or by 40 points, right? Win the game, be 1-0, move on the next week. So, and also it helps that they don't leave the Eastern time zone a single time the entire season. So
That's fact.
I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Another one I don't hate, the Dolphins.
Yes. They're going to the playoffs. They're not beating the Bills.
They set cars on fire in the parking lot because they know they're fired.
It's true.
Yeah, and they leave their grills on. So that's another reason.
No, that was just the scapegoat. They
Oh,
were
that's
so
it.
hot on the
That's it.
field
That's it.
against the Pats
that
that they set cars
I
on.
heard it was Waddle that did it.
also,
I did. I heard it was.
speaking of Waddle, unpopular opinion, I think the Waddle touchdown dance is the dumbest celebration.
What is it? I've not seen it.
It's
He
he
just
waddles.
waddles. He
like
does
this.
hang-
That's hilarious.
No,
that is gold.
It pisses me off so much. I hate watching it. And I hate looking at it. So I don't care what anybody says. I hate
It's better than the the giddy?
gritty.
Yeah, it's
Gritty.
better than the gritty.
Better than the gritty, and everybody.
No,
thinks
see,
gritty.
that's not true.
That is fact.
It's
No, it's better than the gritty when somebody that can do the gritty well. It's better than that. I don't disagree with that. But it's really funny when Adam Thielen's doing the gritty, or like somebody really uncoordinated, like when a quarterback does it that shouldn't be doing the gritty. That to me is funny. That's based. Waddling, especially when this whole team it just annoys me. I don't know why. It's like it's too perfect. It pisses me off.
You want a better take? I have a better take.
Yes.
Bengals not make the playoffs.
Boom. That.
Woof.
They spent all the money on their offensive line, and guess who didn't look good?
Tell them, Payne.
Their offensive line.
Well, when your offensive line doesn't play a single damn preseason snap, that typically happens. I feel
Now,
like.
whose
Oh.
fault is that?
Yeah,
not
I'm not blaming you.
Not mine.
I'm not blaming you.
Also, way harder schedule this year.
Yeah.
They play. I mean, and let's be honest, they got kind of lucky last year. I don't
Joe
need to be
Burrow?
that guy.
I'm gonna be honest. Joe Burrow, huge drop off this year.
Yeah.
Don't buy stock in him.
Wouldn't knock on wood. I'm not wishing for this. Wouldn't be surprised if he got injured again.
Yeah.
The way this offensive line's playing.
Oh yeah. I mean, to me,
I
if
think
he
he had
survived
4 sacks again this.
Yeah.
This week.
What he had 4 picks.
Four.
and
a fumble?
and two fumbles. So yeah, not looking great for old Joey B in the
Also,
bottom.
winless
that-
against the Browns.
That 100% factual.
Well, not
Well,
Joey.
you
No,
can't count last year because he had one game he didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Okay, well, he's still 0-3.
That's true.
No, he's on 2. Because his rookie year he was injured for the second time they played him.
I'm not sure about that.
He's not buying.
There's no way he.
Here, I'll put it better for you. I'll put it better for you.
They might have, but I'm just saying there's no way. Right?
Here, I'll put it better for you.
No, they play some teams.
Since Joe Shiesty's been on the roster,
Mhm.
the Bengals haven't beat the Browns.
It's true. Also,
That is a fact.
Fact.
That is a fact.
Also, Bengals also 1-7 against the Browns since the Browns drafted Baker Mayfield.
So,
Actual facts.
actual fact. Speaking, actually, here's one of my other biggest takeaways before we move on. The biggest takeaway, and I'll be curious to see both of your opinion on this. One of my biggest takeaways of the weekend was how poorly the Seattle Seahawks received Russell Wilson. And also, now, my Twitter is very Browns-centric, Browns-heavy fans.
As it should.
Hold on, can we back up just a touch? You're saying when Denver played Seattle in Seattle, those fans did not receive Russell well?
Correct.
That's just disrespectful.
Booed him. That guy won him a Super Bowl.
He did.
He should have won him too, but we decided to pass the ball on the one instead of give it to Marshawn Lynch.
I'm not shocked because it's Seattle. I got my own opinions about Seattle, but be better.
Be better.
Be better.
And then secondly is how much the Browns Twitter faithful, so I'm coming at you guys, not necessarily saying you guys, but the Browns Twitter faithful were bashing Baker Mayfield. Like, it's his fault that he got traded and it's his fault that he left. Like, what? I'm not done.
I'm asking.
I'm not done.
In what way were we bashing?
They were just like, I was just seeing everybody being like, Carolina, this is what you're going to be in for. Baker Mayfield, you're trash. Like I'm happy to see him fail. Like nothing would make me more happier than Baker Mayfield getting decapitated by Myles Garrett. Actual tweet said and sent.
That's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny.
Did Garrett get a sack?
He got a strip sack.
Yeah, he got it.
He's gonna be an old tombstone this year. Only reason I say that people are upset is because of his.
By the way.
He's gonna have it's because of his tweet before how they're gonna. What did he say?
Yeah, I'm gonna F him up.
Yeah,
F them up.
I mean,
which to me, Baker Mayfield is allowed to be that way. They went so hard on choosing the guy that they knew were going to get suspended regardless, whether it was 1 game, 6 games, or 11. They chose a guy that they did not set Baker Mayfield, in my opinion, up last year for success. They put the pieces around, but as soon as he got injured, Stefanski should have said, or the GM, or somebody should have said, look, we are better off with a guy that is the highest paid backup and is also a very serviceable backup.
That I don't disagree with.
That's not Baker Mayfield's fault, though.
That was also on Baker, too. He wanted to play.
He wanted to play, and that's
you
why
you gotta help the guy out of his own way.
Yeah,
well, that's still.
He's just a competitor. My issue is with the head coach and leadership. You got to know that he's not 100% and shut him down.
Yeah.
I think if they shut him down, the Browns have a way better chance in the playoffs last year than what obviously happened.
Right.
But they didn't shut him down, let him heal. He forced it, and you could tell. It was just obvious.
And also, secondly, to me, you're not gonna tell a guy that is in the 1% of competitiveness, being an athlete, like those guys don't want to sit. You tell them you're not playing. And I get what you're saying, that if you feel like you can't play 100%, then you should sit yourself out. But that's not how the cookie crumbles, and that's just not how the way things go sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I was only saying that because you said the Browns put him in a bad position, but like he was also putting himself in a bad position.
The only people that don't do that are true veterans of the game.
Mm-hmm. Not even true veterans, people that still want to make sure that they can extend their career.
Yeah, but I'm saying the only people that really do that is the Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers,
Peyton Mannings.
the Peyton Mannings of the world. Those are the only guys that can really sit and say, I'm not it now. I need to sit.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're so secure in their job.
Right.
I think Baker Mayfield knew he wasn't secure in his job and was worried about it and thought he could play his way into keeping his job.
Right.
And I think it hurt.
Yeah.
And obviously.
And, I also don't think the Browns were, and another reason I don't think is that, to me, as an outside Browns fan looking in and watching some of these games and everything about it, is the Browns threw the ball way too much knowing he had a torn labrum. Labrum?
Yeah.
Why are you throwing the ball 56 times a game when you know your quarterback has a torn labrum? It's either you shut him down, or B, you have the best 1-2 punch in the entire NFL. Run the damn ball. And your offensive line was pretty solid. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like it's the Bengals where you have no push, or you're at the bottom 5 offensive line. It's you have Nick Chubb and you have Kareem Hunt. You run their face until, I believe Marshawn Lynch, great poet, said, I'm going to smash him in the face again and 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 again until they don't want that anymore. I think that's what the Browns should have done. So that's another reason I'm saying they didn't set him up for success. Definitely blame on both parties. I don't disagree with that. But I think at the end of the day, you as an organization are the one that's supposed to put your best player in their best interest. Like the Colts shut down Andrew Luck. Did I want them to sit down Andrew Luck and go fucking 2 wins or 3 wins, whatever the hell we were? No. But that is the way that the cookie crumbles sometimes. And we knew it was in our best interest. Obviously, it didn't work out because he retired. RIP, Angela, please come back. I mean, I like Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was the second highest graded quarterback last week, after week 1. But Ryan, did you see that tweet I just DM'd you?
I did.
We'll be talking about that next. So if you want to pull that up on the graphic, whenever you get a second. But
The Browns did give up a lot of sacks last year.
mhm.
They gave up 49 compared to the Bears 58. So they were the 6th worst team in sacks allowed.
yeah. So that's to me even more of a reason to run the ball. If you're not getting that initial retreat pass blocking, then why the hell you keep going?
I'm shocked by that number, to be honest with you.
Is that StatMuse?
Huh?
Is that StatMuse? StatMuse.
It is.
StatMuse is the truth. I love
It is.
StatMuse.
The only other thing I have to say on this topic is, look, Baker Mayfield's going to talk shit. I'm allowed to talk shit back. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, don't disagree with
He
that.
brought it on himself, I think. I think
Yeah.
he just when he came in the game said,
I mean, he made T-shirts for this game.
yeah.
Off the leash.
I think he would have came into the game and they, as a mature quarterback would have done. I'm not saying,
Which we know he's not.
yeah, he doesn't have the greatest answers. And said, hey, I appreciated my time in Cleveland. I thought they were a good organization while I was there, and it just didn't work out. I'm here to play football. Nobody would talk shit about Baker Mayfield this week.
Don't disagree with that necessarily, but I also know the Browns faithful is a bunch of psychopaths.
That's
They
incorrect.
are-
Incorrect.
They are ruthless.
See, John's gonna die on that hill, and I just know that that's not true.
Incorrect. We're stand-up individuals.
Stand-up individuals of the society of people.
Look,
Yes.
every NFL fan base is crazy. Browns are no different.
Hey, I've never had a single problem with the Colts faith.
Okay,
I've never had a single problem every time I go to a Miami Dolphins game.
those you pick two of the deadest fan bases.
The Colts?
The average age of your two fan bases you just named are 85.
First of all, don't you dare hate on. We are blue-collared, hard-working Americans.
My dad used to be a Colts fan. If that tells you,
Farmer,
He is a Baltimore Colts fan. It's different. I don't want his chop.
Big Johnny Unitas guy.
Big Johnny Unitas guy.
That'll tell you how old Colts fans are.
Yes.
Hey, don't
Well,
you downplay him.
that's-
He's a saint.
He has
That-
hearing aids.
That is. We've gone completely. We derailed the conversation, but that was just another shockwaves how disrespectful I feel like some of the old teams took. Their new the quarterbacks that were playing each other this week. I was a little surprised about, and then also fun tidbit. This is the first time we haven't had since 2007, I believe, that we haven't had a rookie quarterback play in week 1.
No shit.
Yeah, it's like the last one was like Jamarcus Russell.
I guess
That
Kenny
was my
Pickett was
fault.
the only real first rounder. I guess Kenny Pickett was the only real first rounder this year.
Yeah, I mean
He lost
it's really Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ritter, and Malik Willis.
Biggest
Malik
surprise.
Willis, yeah. Those are
sorry,
the only 3.
Sorry to go back a little bit. Biggest surprise running back, James Conner.
Yeah, he looked.
I don't think he's a surprise. He was good last year.
I think
He's gonna need to be a big factor
I
in that
think
offense.
he's going to be an elite running back for the Cardinals.
I'm with Ben.
Yeah, I think that'll be we'll see.
Sorry,
we'll
that's
see.
a little off topic.
We'll
but
see. We'll see. But before we get to the baseball talk, which Ryan will be pulling that graphic up soon if he hasn't already. Shout out the next sponsor, National Road Golf Course.
Ah, yes.
Outside of West Jefferson, Ohio, off of Route 40.
Highway 40.
Great course to start if you're looking at intermediate level style of golf. You don't want the most challenging course in the world, but you don't want the easiest course. It's links style. No tree, not very many trees, no sand traps, only one water thing to work around. So it's definitely good for that. Just starting, and you want to start, you're hitting the range, you're hitting a few balls here and there, and then you want to get your feet wet with 9 holes, 18 holes. This is a great course to start. It's not overtly very long. So you definitely could play and have a good time with your friends, and especially if you're more the experienced golfer and you just want to take your friend, i.e. my good buddy John Went, and you just want to go play golf and you don't want him to be dragging his feet the whole time, where you can still enjoy your time and he can enjoy his time. National Road Golf Course is the place to be. And John, I know you're a big driving range guy.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't even a shot at me. I just suck at golf. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I can go to those simulators, can test out my swing, get a good chicken sandwich at that bar.
Oh, you know it. We got the best chicken sandwiches east of the Mississippi,
That's what they say.
and that's what they
It's
say. And
facts.
Payne, I know that as the weather's turning and it's getting colder, it's getting more wet, gonna snow days. If you don't want to play outside, John mentioned the simulators. I know you like to play in the simulators. Get yourself 18 at Pebble Beach.
Especially in the wintertime. When I'm trying to keep my swing crisp. So when I come out for my first 18 in the spring to show everybody what I've been doing,
Yeah.
great place to go, really affordable, and the views are great on the simulator. Let me tell you.
They
Yeah,
are.
hey, let me tell you, when I'm playing St. Andrews Links and I'm hitting out of those craters of sand traps, I'm glad I'm indoors. That's all I'm saying. So make sure you check out National Road Golf Course outside of West Jefferson, Ohio, just outside of just off of Route 40.
One of my favorites.
They've got everything you need. They got the full 18 driving range and simulators as well. So make sure you check them out. Let them know that we sent you. We love the National Golf Course family, and they love us. So thank you so much for sponsoring the podcast. Let's get into this. I want this to be more of a quicker segment. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I don't want to drag our feet because I feel like we can talk about this for years. But for 2023, Ryan is the graphic up for the guys to see, and for the Spotify viewers, obviously that you can't see.
Wait, do the snap the fingers thing again.
Oh, did it work?
Oh, shit.
Hold on, run it back. Give me 1 second.
All right.
So Ryan, if you don't mind pulling up this graphic,
That's so badass.
look at that. That fucks right there. 2023 rule changes official. Gonna happen.
Love it.
Pitch clock in the major league level. Biggest thing is 15 seconds for when bases are empty, 20 seconds when a runner is on base. Bigger bases for first base and second base and third base, going to 18 inches instead of 15 inches. And then shift restrictions, I think, which is arguably the biggest one. 2 infielders must be positioned on either side of second base. And then all 4 infielders must have their feet on the dirt. So those are the 3 big rule changes. Quickly, just a little bit of time. I don't want to spend too much time on this because, like I said, I could talk about this blue in the face. Payne, initial thoughts on one of the rules, all the rules. What do you like? What do you don't like?
Love them all. Love them all. Only thing I will say is I feel like 15, 20 seconds are a little short. I think the AAA, it's like 30-some seconds. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe.
I don't know. I'll take your word for it. You were at the Clippers game. This ship rocks.
This ship does rock.
The ship does rock. I bought a shirt that says I'm just here for the beer. But
Diamond Dog Night.
Diamond Dog Night. But I will say the 15, 20 second thing is a little short. Don't understand the base increase. That doesn't make sense to me. The shift, love that rule because I think what MLB's trying to do is get more hits to keep people interested. That's their big goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'll happen.
I think that's also with the pitch clock, too. I will tell you the bigger base rule, biggest reason for the bigger base is player safety. Which that, to me, if I'm going to pick of the 3 rules, that's the only
3
one I
inches
like.
is going to make that big of a difference?
I'll tell you just from recent off the top of my head that I can know of is in the World Series, Charlie Morton, I believe. World Series game 2 was covering a bag and he's running and he's covering the bag and he tried to find the bag while looking for the ball and Michael Brantley curb stomped his ankle because his foot was on the entire bag.
So make it like softball.
I hear you for the first base side. I'm cool with that and I get what you're saying. I'm just telling you why they're doing it. And this little video down here, he explains why that bag is bigger too. Do I think it's going to make let's just say 5 injuries a year happen from somebody tripping, getting hit, caught up in the base path, and it drops it to 2? To me, I'd say it's working. It's working the way it's supposed to. But I don't think it's like the greatest thing. But out of the 3, that is the only one I like.
The biggest interesting thing I will say about all these restrictions now or changes. Who's in charge of watching it?
For what? The shift or the pitch timer?
Pitch timer. For example.
Well, the shift will be probably
to receive 1 timeout per plate appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Who's taking count of that? And I think there's some that aren't mentioned in this
graphic
about the what the pitchers can step off the mound X amount of times only
and throw to first base. Yeah.
X amount. Who's keeping track of that?
It will be.
Are we bringing in another umpire to track that? Like a 5th, like in soccer, how they have a 4th official, we have a 5th umpire.
Well, they already have
4.
World Series, 4. They have 6, right?
Yeah,
playoffs are about 6.
I'm saying 6.
That's still different.
So yeah, they have 4. I don't know if they're going to bring in a 5th. I'm sure we'll see how it works out. Obviously,
that's a lot to ask them to watch.
It's going to be
umpires too.
It's going to happen in spring training, and we'll definitely be able to see this. But to me, the problem I'm going to have is for the shift especially, is let's just say, they're going to be on that. They're going to be as far back as they're going to be allowed. They're going to be towing that grass line as much as possible. So if they're touching the grass and a guy gets a hit and he hits it to the guy and he makes a routine ground ball play, but he was a little bit to the left or right, and he makes a play, is that hitter safe now? And I'm sure it outlines it more in the rules I obviously couldn't just look those up and just dive. It's a fucking Rolodex of things that they have to read. I'm curious to see how that works out. But John, I know you're more like me, and you absolutely hate at least 2 of these 3 rules.
Yeah, I'm cool
Not
with the bigger
bases.
I'm cool with the bigger bases. I mean, I think it allows for more stealing too. I feel like the art of
Which
stealing
is
kinda-
dope because the fact that stealing is not a thing anymore sucks.
Yeah, so I think that might have a little bit of a resurgence. Pitch timer, I think, is dumb as fuck. I think why speed up a game that's like it's supposed to be like a day-long event? Why speed it up that much? I think it's ridiculous. 15 and 20 also way too low.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. And then shift restriction, I mean, if you want 9 players playing left field, why the fuck not?
Right.
Like, you should be able... 7.
Pitcher and catcher gotta be.
I mean, catcher can run back.
I guess that's fair. Yes. No, the biggest thing I don't like about the pitch timer, and I was talking to Payne about this off camera before you guys got here, is you're saving roughly 26 minutes, right? We're splitting hairs over 26 minutes in a 3-hour and 4-minute game. The MLB average game was 3 hours and 4 minutes. Right now it's dropping it to what, 246 or 240, whatever that is, 242. You're splitting hairs over that. And then my thing is, NFL games are like 3.5 hours, 4 hours long. College football games are 3.5 hours, 4 hours long.
College football's even longer. It's
Even
like,
longer. So I guess my thing is, it's not even the longest sport. Now, if you want to argue, well, it's less action packed and there's not much of like guys being dudes and banging against each other. And hitting against each other like that. I guess that. Thank you. I understand that, but you're splitting hairs over 26 minutes, which I guess is a difference. Is a big enough difference for them to implement this rule. But it's not even the longest sporting event. I don't know what the NBA average game is, but it's not even the longest professional sporting event. I mean, soccer's the quickest. It's 45 minutes with some extra time, 45 minutes with extra time, and that's it.
And 15-minute halftime.
And a 15-minute halftime. It's roughly 2
I
hours.
think I do believe that the reason is that baseball viewership amongst the young, the Utes,
Not the
children,
Utah.
is down.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to come up with ways to bring excitement back. Hence, no more shift. What happens when you take the shift away? Those players that only hit to right field are going to have more hits.
Mm-hmm.
What's exciting in baseball? Most people, especially your Diamond Dog night goers, are going to say hits.
Yeah.
We went to the Diamond Dog night. It was a pitching fiasco. It was a great thing to watch if you like to watch baseball. If you don't like to watch baseball, it was boring, I'm sure. Personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean the bigger thing that I think that a lot of people are over citing is for the shift restrictions is they've been around since Babe Ruth was playing. There's literally video evidence of people shifting Babe Ruth. You're changing a long-standing tradition in baseball that's been around since the birth of it. And the thing is, I feel like you're gonna really potentially screw some pitchers over in perfect game scenarios, no hitter scenarios, where you're no longer, and I think that to me as a hitter, and also you're going to potentially ruin some pitching careers. Not those fringe guys, those fifth and sixth starters, those bullpen guys that that shift's keeping them in the league because it helps their ERA, or if they're coming in like a pinch situation. Now that's going to be very, very minuscule. I understand that, and especially because most of these rules are already in the minor leagues, and the run differential is within decimal points, and the hits are within decimal points. But that goes back to my original point of if it's within decimal points, like it's your average hits per game, I think is like 5.2. Well, with these rule changes, it bumps it to like 5.8. But and that goes back to my original point. If it's that small and that minuscule, why are we splitting hairs over just that little bit of a decimal point? But I agree with you saying it's definitely going to increase hits. Home runs, extra base hits. I think it definitely increases stealing, which I'm all for. I love seeing the art of stealing. I love it. I think it's fun. Ricky Henderson's record will never be broken because of that. But we'll see how it works.
Stephen Kwan may do it.
Stephen Kwan might do it.
Stop it.
Josh Naylor might do it.
Josh Naylor, really. Bo Naylor.
No, stop it right now.
So those are the baseball rules changes that we thought would be a little bit interesting to bring up and touch base on. But let's get to the last, second to last segment, the pick'ems. John, read us through the pick'ems. It is the games that we did 5 college, 5 NFL, games that we feel are going to be hot ticket items, something to look out for this week. and something we think you guys should be watching and looking out for, and also pick along with us. So we'll post this to Twitter later as well. And John, who's in the lead with the pick'ems?
That would be me at 14-6. You're right behind me at 13-7. Ryan's at 10-10. Our guest pickers are at 5-5.
So Payne, you have the opportunity.
I'm gonna bring up the average at 5-5.
I'm just saying, you have the opportunity to extend the average. Where are you going? Okay, so just make sure you get back for the picks. All right, so John, let's read us the slate here.
All right, so we're going to start out down in Auburn, Alabama. We got the Penn State Nittany Lions traveling down to Dixie. Ryan, who do you got?
Penn State.
Line dance. We should learn a line dance.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Ryan with the Nittany Lions. I'll follow that up. Am I next or you next? It doesn't matter.
You go next. Payne's not here.
I'm doing the Nittany Lions as well, and I'll speak for Payne. Payne is doing Auburn, War Eagle.
War Eagle. I am going with the Penn State Nittany Lions as well.
Ruin the clean sweep.
Yeah, ruin the clean sweep, but Brian Arson, Auburn fans, Auburn doesn't even want him as their head coach.
Facts.
I'm going with the Penn State Nittany Lions. All right, next.
Bo Nix didn't even want him as head coach.
Correct. All of it true. All right, next game, we're going out to Eugene, Oregon. We got the BYU Cougs taking on the Ducks of mighty Oregon. Ryan, who do you got?
BYU.
Go Cougs.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my gut on this one. I'm going with the MILF Nation of BYU and Zach Wilson, our alumnus.
So fucking true.
So
Payne, who do you
true.
got?
I think the Ducks. Ducks got their
Are you quacking?
beaks. Their beaks got smashed in week 1, but they've
gonna
repaired them. They're back.
I believe a Cougar would absolutely decimate a Duck in a fight. I'm going with the BYU Cougs. I think Cosmo would beat Puddle's ass.
I totally
I think
agree.
that's aggressive, but
I
you
totally
don't
agree.
understand the beaks.
And I'm just letting you
guess I
know.
don't.
But also, in all fairness, though, we also like the Ducks because when we go out drinking with the Oregon Ducks, the Duck just says, put it on my bill.
That's true.
So fucking true.
So based. So next pick.
All right, we got our next game. We have the Texas Tech Red Raiders going to Raleigh, North Carolina to take on the Wolfpack. Ryan, who do you got?
Well,
I'm
let's go Guns.
gonna go NC State.
Nope.
NC State.
Yeah.
Boo.
Harrison, who do you got?
I believe I picked the Texas Tech because I'm a Red Raider Nation, baby.
Wreckham Tech. Payne, who do you got?
I got the Wolfpack. Give it to me.
I think they got out to a slow start, but they got one of the best defenses in football. Give me the Wolfpack of NC State.
Get ready for that Big 12 offense coming, brother. I'll tell you what. Go on.
Go on. So next game, we got the Spartans of Michigan State traveling to Seattle, Washington to take on the Huskies of Washington. Ryan, who do you got?
Michigan State.
Yeah, I'm going to go Sparty here. I think a Sparty would absolutely decimate, as you would say, a Wolf.
All
Or
right.
not even the Wolf.
Give me the Huskies. Give me the Huskies because I think Mel Tucker is overrated.
I mean,
It's a bold statement from
Hey, he's only 1 year in. 2 years.
2 years.
2
He's
years
2-0.
2-0.
That's a bold statement
2-0 for what?
against Michigan.
against Michigan.
That doesn't mean anything.
I still,
They haven't won the big. He hasn't
If
won
I were
the
a
Big Ten.
Michigan fan, it'd mean something to me.
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's not
Just saying
saying.
it's a bold statement
Yeah.
saying that I think he's overrated, but I do.
Go on.
I mean, I think Tuck's coming.
You think Tuck's coming? All right.
I'm just messing with you. I do have Michigan State winning this game. Close, though. I think Washington keeps it close.
The
To
Huskies
take the points
time,
or no?
I think Washington's favorite.
All right, so take the
They're like
points.
3-point favorites. So
and the time difference is going to be an issue.
yeah, and Michigan State hasn't really played anybody. I mean,
This will be their first test for sure.
this will be their first test, so we'll see.
It's no Hawaii, that's for
That is true.
This is the game I'm most excited for.
Next game, we have the mighty Hurricanes of Miami, the U, traveling to College Station to take on the biggest cold in America, the Aggies of Texas A&M. Ryan, who do you got?
Miami.
Yeah, I'm You have you want to go next? Is that why you're leaning in? Go ahead, tell the people what you pick. Are you?
You could flip if you want.
Go ahead.
I am a big believer in that Miami party life is going to travel to the Texas station, and it's going to absolutely wreck them. And this hurricane's going to. It's going. Basically, what I'm saying is bring your umbrella, Aggie Nation. Bring the umbrella because the storm's coming.
Storm's coming.
Storm's coming.
Storm is going to happen. in College Station is what you're telling me.
Yeah. What are you telling me?
I'm telling you, those Aggies are going to be ready. They were upset about how things went last week. They're not going to be happy. The pep rally this week is going to be insane.
I bet it got canceled.
No.
The rain's not coming.
That's
It's going to dry out.
Did you see the thing with that pep rally guy?
And,
Yeah.
and you see A&M try to take it all down.
Yeah.
And then everybody posted it.
Yeah, a lot of
Oh,
other.
wait, yeah, I think I
Yeah.
saw that because the Coast to Coast account retweeted it.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, and also a bunch of other accounts retweeted it. Like, wouldn't it be a shame? Stop retweeting this, guys. They don't want this to be on there. And I saw like several like football like Barstool accounts
Yeah.
retweeted stuff. So it's
I think I retweeted the Marshall one.
yes, I loved the Marshall one.
Go for it.
Shout out Marshall.
Shout out
This-
Brendan Knox.
Brendan Knox.
Brennan Knox, come on the pod.
Come on, plot it for free. I actually invited him. He has yet to respond. So
Yeah.
open invitation.
He's busy right now.
He's busy. John, who you taking?
So my pick, I'm going with the Miami Hurricanes. A&M, I mean, outside of the Iowa Hawkeyes, might have the worst offense in football. Only one trip to the red zone all year. Only scored 7 against App State. Their kick return scored a touchdown. So I think their offense is putrid. So
I respect it.
give me the Hurricanes.
Am I the only one that went with the Aggies?
You
did.
are.
You're the only one that has gone with.
I
Like,
think they
three
are
picks.
favorited, though. I think
No
they're
Aggies.
7-point favorites in Vegas.
I just don't like Josh Gaddis.
I respect that though.
I respect that.
Go
All right.
next one.
Shifting over to the NFL, Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. Fucking sucks.
Dog shit.
we
Not as
have-
bad as Bally's, but go on.
We have Justin Herbert traveling to Kansas City to take on Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs. Ryan, who do you got?
Chiefs.
I'm also taking the Chiefs. Keenan Allen is out for the week, so Jay Herbert's #1 target
Out.
also hurts my fantasy team.
I got the Chiefs. Patty Mahomes.
True.
I need another 5 touchdown performance.
I'll keep it simple with you guys. Chiefs, too good. We'll
We're
sweep.
sweeping. We're sweeping.
Oh.
We're sweeping. You'll get used to it.
All right, next we got the New England Patriots traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steel Curtain in Pittsburgh. Ryan, who do you got?
Steelers.
Good. No, I did completely disagree. I'm going to go Patriots. TJ Watt out, Najee Harris out. I think those are two very big. And I believe Cam Hayward is also out for this week, or may be out for this week. So I'm also going. I'm going against you. I'm going
I
Patriots.
actually meant to do that earlier. I apologize.
You're allowed to flip, bud. We haven't even said your name yet.
And I meant to do that earlier. I just forgot to do that.
So
it's not even on screen. It's not on screen. So it was just me looking at it.
well, I know you're just looking at it, but I'm just saying he's allowed to flip. He hasn't gone yet. So Payne, who you got?
I got the Pats. I think Mac Jones is going to rebound from the Dolphins debacle, and he's going to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones is that guy. Just people don't know yet.
It's true. It's true. All of what you said is true. I'm going with the Patriots. I think Bill Belichick rebounds in a close one.
Speaking of rebounds, this next week's game is going to be a rebound.
It's going to be a rebound. So we
I
got.
was a rebound.
Well, I'm not sure how to respond to that.
All
John,
right,
go
next
on.
game we got the beautifulness of Sunday Night Football. We got the Bears traveling to Green Bay and Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers. Ryan, who do you got?
Packers.
I think, like I said before, I kind of hinted at a rebound for Aaron Rodgers, Packers.
I got the Cheeseheads. Cheeseheads it is. Aaron Rodgers, as uninterested as he looks from game to game, I think he's going to ball out.
I think everyone can say they own a share of the pack, but only one person can say they own the Bears. That is Aaron Rodgers. I believe the Packers win big here in a rebound game.
He said it on the one of the interviews he did. He's like undefeated against the Bears.
Yeah,
He
he
has
has a very, very good record.
Yeah.
So
He's not undefeated, but like a very good record.
yeah, that's
Stupidly
why
good.
Big Cat
Like-
does not like him.
That's why it is. Big
Yeah,
Cat. He did
Big
Big Cat.
Big Cat hates Aaron Rodgers.
And, I mean, if I were a Bears fan, I'd hate Aaron Rodgers.
I respect it, and I respect it. So next game.
Next game, we have 2 Monday Night Football games this week. We start off Monday night going Titans at Bills. Traveling.
Oh wait, that was a sweep.
That was a sweep.
Sweep.
All right, so Titans at Bills. Bills Mafia going to be riled up for this one. Ryan, who do you got?
Bills.
Josh Allen is that guy.
Facts. Fact.
Smell that? I think I smell another sweep.
Right, you're not sweeping with us, damn it.
We got the
We-
Bills big can't lose to the Giants and then think you can beat the Bills.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
It's gonna be close.
Second Monday night game. I think this one might be a little better. We got the Minnesota Vikings traveling on to take the Eagles, a rematch of the NFC Championship game a few years ago. Ryan, who do you got?
This is wrong. I said Vikings.
I said the Eagles.
I thought you said Vikings.
Ryan said Vikings. Your primetime Kirk. I'm Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to be good. A.J. Brown's the man right now. He's on my fantasy team. Got me like 26 points. They're going to be really good this year. I'm big on the Eagles. I think they are going to win their division, especially since Dak's out now.
Yeah, bad division.
But, bad division. But
Almost
I think
as bad as the Colts.
that's
Division.
really
You want to hear a stat?
That's
I
really
know
hard.
you've already heard this stat.
Yeah.
You've played. You had 4 teams in your division. 2 of them played each other. And
We're all undefeated, baby. Let's go.
you're all defeated. You all haven't won a game yet.
No,
Yes, none of
No.
you. Your whole division have not won a game.
we're not completely defeated.
Okay, but
We
you
got
said
a
they were
point.
undefeated. I was responding to that.
We got a point.
That's fact.
We got a point.
You are right, but I didn't.
No, I think Eagles are going to be really good this year, so I'm taking the Eagles.
I'm also on the Eagles train. Eagles.
Flybirds. Oh, you mother.
You
Fuck.
would.
I love the
going-
Vikings.
I'm going with the Vikings. I think their defense comes up big this week in our last pick'em game.
Yeah, I think Justin Jefferson could be the truth this year. You'll look for him to be arguably the offensive player of the year. Is that what that's called?
Offensive-
Jonathan Taylor won that last year.
Oh,
It's basically-
BOY.
Yeah, it's basically the person that doesn't win MVP. But I think the Vikings are going to be really good this year too. Look at them to maybe even win their division. Unpopular opinion. So I'm taking the Eagles. Eagles, Vikings. We're split. Anything else before the pick'ems before we move on to Ryan's 2-minute drill?
No, I think we're good to go unless
Alright.
we need a stall.
No, Ryan, do we need to stall? Or are you ready?
Give me like 10 seconds.
All right, so great. Ryan's 2-minute drill. For those of you that you don't know, Ryan scours the Twitter universe, the Instagram universe, the Facebook universe. I hear sometimes if he's feeling froggy, or just he's catching something in his eye on the interwebs news or whatever. Basically takes 5 key points that he thinks are important, or not necessarily enough to make the show, but something that we should talk and discuss about. Quick hits, quick responses. Payne, this is your first 2-minute drill,
I'm excited. I've been here for this.
as you should be.
Obviously, I haven't been on the pod.
Just be quick with a thought. You don't have to be so short, but we're just gonna try and make it into that 2 minute. I think John and I are on like a streak of 4 now.
We're on a streak here. I mean,
Hold on. Ryan doesn't speak at all?
No, Ryan reads the
I
question.
read it, and then you give your thoughts.
Yeah, so like
And
Ryan,
we got to get all these done in 2 minutes.
yeah, he'll be like, "What's your favorite?"
From an avid coast-to-coast listener, you should know this.
Right.
I know, but I listened, but I never paid attention to the rules.
Yeah, so yeah, he'll be like, "What's your favorite color?" My favorite color is green, and then you'll be like, "Oh, I'm personally a big fan of blue," and I'll say, "Oh, I love red. Red's a really good color. It's warm," and then John will be like, "I love brown,"
And then move on.
and then we move to the next.
Gosh.
question.
All right.
Okay.
So it's fast. Hit
So
it.
you're starting us. You're the first person. It goes right. It goes this way.
So Ryan doesn't speak at all.
Left, right. No, he speaks. He reads the question.
this is his 2-minute drill. He came up with these.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
ready.
All right. Steph Curry has nearly locked down a lifetime contract with Under Armour worth billions of dollars. Is Steph worth this kind of money?
Yes.
I think for Under Armour, especially like LeBron and Nike, Jordan and Nike, Steph is that for Under Armour. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say no. He blew a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals.
All right.
That's an excellent point.
Scott Frost has been removed from the Huskers. Did Nebraska pull the trigger too soon?
Yes. Financially speaking, why not save $7 million?
Yeah, especially because now he's gonna go to fucking Alabama. So yes, too soon.
Money is nothing in college football
Also
payroll,
true.
so it is what it is.
Since the MLB has become more universal on both sides of the AL and NL, should they move to a universal MVP and other awards?
Yes. Absolutely. I'm tired of seeing best of each division.
I'm impartial. I could be flipped either way. I'm gonna say yeah, sure, why not? Universal.
I'll say no. We've gotten rid of so many MLB traditions here in the last few years.
Keep the one.
Why not keep one?
Fair enough.
Browns revive the new logo. Reveal the new logo for the half. Easy for me. To for their field. How do we feel about the Browns?
Love it. Absolutely love it. They did a Twitter poll. Everybody voted for it. Obviously, it's great.
I like the brownie.
I would have gone with the other elf logo, but all the haters can fucking suck my
The
dick.
pipe is incredible.
This is the Browns logo I wanted to go with. is what it is.
Dabo's committee agrees to a new 10-year contract extension with Clemson worth $115 million. Is Dabo worth this money?
No. What have you done for me lately?
I completely agree with Payne. If you don't have a generational quarterback in college, he's very mid.
I'll say no, but again, payroll in college football doesn't mean shit.
All right.
Did we make it?
And we made it by 15 seconds.
Couldn't believe we did that. I didn't have faith there.
I want to go back to the Steph Curry thing. Now.
Yeah.
The only reason I say Steph Curry's worth it because he has no other athlete to compete with. The only person he's competing with is The Rock.
With Under Armour?
Well, yeah. Well, not even that. It's just that he's one of the 5 most influential basketball players of all time. He's definitely worth the money, and especially because Under Armour doesn't have that golden goose like they did with Jordan, like they did with like Converse with Magic and Larry. They didn't have that with Jordan and LeBron. Under Armour has had nobody. So I think Steph Curry leans into a perfectly $1 billion contract. I mean, come on.
And it makes sense. I mean, I hold Steph Curry and Under Armour in the same regard. Both are just shitty, don't really care.
Hey, I love Under Armour.
I don't. They don't grip my body right. So
There's a reason.
I like the discounts they give.
There's a reason why Notre Dame wears Under Armour.
Yeah, so we'll wrap up on that.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. As always, be a friend, tell a friend, share with friends. Thank you to our guests. One more time for the guests. Appreciate you donating some time to us. I believe John is taking next week off.
Yes, I will be gone next week.
So it'll be a solo show, potentially, with just me.
We'll still have the poll and everything.
We'll still have the poll. We'll still have the pick'ems. But I also may or may not have 2 other guest people on here. Where it might be my lady friend and it might be his lady friend. And I'm just going to put a bunch of, like, famous, like, logos and see if they guess the sports. I feel like that'd be, like, a fun little, not a full sports slated, a little more casual, a little more fun and exciting one.
Maybe.
And I'll still give my sports takes and I'll give what we talk about. Obviously, we
like
had...
a Gene Friday casual.
Yeah, like casual Fridays. And as I wish you guys could see the conversation we had in our group text about Alabama and Texas and Notre Dame. And like we had probably a 45-minute just argument.
And then Notre Dame lost.
And then Notre Dame lost, so they were like, that kind of negates the entire argument.
Fully negate it because Alabama still should have lost, and that was kind of the whole basis around, at least my argument.
Not mine.
Also, I only said 2 things. I mean, mine was just regarded to you. I forget exactly what you said. You said, why drop Bama?
I said, why drop Bama?
I was just asking for consistency. I don't really care.
No, I agree with that. But I was saying that if you're going to do an AP week, AP poll, you have to do based off of this week's games. Texas is clearly the best team that any of the other top 5 teams played.
Well, I disagree
And
with
just
you
be
there. I think
who's
you can
better, Arkansas State?
Or no, I meant your first point. I was saying, like, you don't have to go week by week. You can do the whole
you can do
you
it
can go the whole picture. You don't have to
I
restrict
heard
yourself.
Hawaii is a sleeper. The Fighting Rainbows are sleepers this year.
Stop it. Knock that off right now.
Also,
Oh, God.
This
This
is my
fucking guy. This fucking
He's
guy.
upset.
I'm upset because
Y'all ranked
Someone-
Bama too high.
someone last week, believe it or not, had the big dog in Vanderbilt, their top 25. And believe it or not,
Who's this guy?
the undefeated Vanderbilt team, I don't know their mascot.
Commodores.
They're
They're the commies.
yeah.
Commies.
Yeah.
The Commodores. Yeah.
Anchor down.
Unfortunate national championship run that they were having
Golden and the Brooklyn.
got broken
To
Bye.
Wake Forest. And I put Wake Forest in.
by the top, arguably, best ACC team right now, top 5. Definitely, they're getting snubbed in Wake Forest. So,
Hey.
I just want to say a big shock for me.
Look, they got
Not
the
a big shock for you because you didn't have them in their top 25. I had them in their top 25. They looked good in 2 weeks. I mean, in week 1 and week 2, they slid a little bit. They beat Chippewa. Was it Central Michigan? Or no, it was another team. They barely beat them by like a touchdown or 2. I put them in my top. I put them at 24.
It was Elon. It was Elon.
Yeah, it was Elon.
They're
The Elon Musks. I didn't fucking drop. I didn't put him at 15, Ryan. I put him at 24. All right. And look, guess what?
Just letting you know-
Wake Forest beat him by 20. And guess what I did? Dropped him out of my top 25.
I'm just letting you know.
Sir, my ass cheeks, they're calling for your lips. Suck my ass.
I'm just letting you know, Rutgers is still looking pretty good this year.
Look,
Rutgers are that guy with Greg Schiano.
Thank you.
look,
Thank you.
all I gotta say is I'm not gonna name any names. I won't do that. I'm a man of integrity. I'm not gonna give out the vote.
I'll say it.
But one person had Kentucky on their poll twice.
Was it me?
No!
You had him at 10 and 19.
That's a point. I'm thinking.
He couldn't make up his mind.
No, see, personally, I think y'all have Kentucky way too high. We just did
I had the 19 on purpose.
what we did at Florida. What we did to Florida is what we just did to Kentucky. Oh, they beat a top 25 team. Let's just jack them up 10 spots.
Also,
Kentucky was 20, right?
Also, another VANTILBURG had Baylor at 10. I was like, don't know about that one. They just lost, brother.
Me?
No.
Oh, Cameron?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, it's look, they lost to BYU, right?
See that.
They lost to BYU. I did replace Kentucky with BYU.
Yeah,
I assume that's what
I'm just saying in general, I agree with my brother on that one, is that just because you lose doesn't mean you drop 46 spots like most of the AP people do. But that's neither here nor there. We appreciate the voters. We appreciate all they do, and we're expanding. We have more voters coming.
Ooh.
I absolutely have them at 11 and 19.
Yeah.
I will be saying that off screen because I don't want these guys to know, and I don't want any biases getting in. But thank you guys so much for hanging out this week. Spotify, check out the YouTube so you can get all the visuals, the action, and just see what our beautiful faces look like. And YouTube, always get to the Spotify. We like to hear us in the car. Like, subscribe, follow, do all those things. Share with friends, be a friend, tell a friend. And thank you to our sponsors, and thank you to our guests.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you all having me.
Ryan, anything to say to people before we let them go, John?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Ryan, anything to say to people before we let them go?
Go Scarlet Knights.
Go Scarlet Knights. Payne, anything to say to people before we let them go?
Vols are those teams.
Vols is that team. The only thing
They
I
are
gotta
him.
say is
They
happy
are
birthday, Jimmy Butler. You are him. We'll see you next week. Peace.